As you can see from the photo, the Aussie fig tree is looking rather bedraggled. Given that tomorrow is the shortest day of the year, the winter solstice here in Australia, it's remarkable that the tree still has leaves. I will have to make sure I keep watering and fertilizing it, but quite likely it will shed its leaves before the spring. That brings me to the subject of this video, because it's midsummer in the northern hemisphere, which means it is exactly 3 months, or 88 days before Rosh Hashanah, the head of the year or first day on the Hebrew calendar. We just saw the beginning of the month of Tammuz on the Hebrew calendar, and the new moon was sighted in Israel on the evening of June 19th, about 2 days ago as I upload this video, so 3 new moons from now will be the new moon that heralds the month of Tishrei. There are some interesting coincidences that link the possibility of a Yom Teruah or Rosh Hashanah rapture with the barren fig tree parable. The most interesting one to me is the fact that exactly 4 solar years prior to Rosh Hashanah, September 17, 2023, the first day of the year 5784 on the Hebrew calendar, Israel held an election, the second one in short succession after the first one failed in April. That second election on September 17, 2019 fulfilled a rabbinic prophecy which stated that 2 ministers named Benjamin would win the government in Israel, neither would establish their government or kingship, and on the Sabbath afterwards, Messiah will come and be revealed. The only way this prophecy will fully be fulfilled is if the Sabbath is interpreted as being a Shemitah year or possibly a Jubilee year. Unfortunately, 5782 was the Shemitah year, and we are currently in the Jubilee year of 5783, so unless Messiah comes on the last day of this Jubilee year, perhaps just before the new moon is sighted on September 16th and 17th, that rabbinic prophecy would be unfulfilled. It is also possible that Benjamin Netanyahu will experience another failure of his government around this time, fulfilling the aspect of the prophecy that neither Benjamin will establish their kingship. Another coincidence that I noticed too, in relation to the barren fig tree parable, in which the fig tree is cut down after 4 years when it failed to bear fruit, is that Israel's election term is 4 years, but over the last 4 years, none of the governments elected has seen out a full 4-year term, and in fact, even before the last election cycle, until Netanyahu came along, it was fairly rare for Israeli governments to last that long. Such is the nature of their complicated, and unfortunately, unstable electoral system. But even Netanyahu's strength as a politician has waned, and in the months since his latest re-election he has suffered a major political setback, being his failure to implement judicial reform in the Supreme Court of Israel, a move which would have neutralized his political opponents in the court system who used the law to oppose his government, and even to attempt to unseat him as a prime minister. So, it is quite possible that Netanyahu will undergo another political crisis in the near future, such is the volatile nature of Israeli politics. Of course, as I always say, any talk of rapture dates is not prediction or prophecy, but purely speculative, and may not come to pass. If you would like to comment, like or subscribe, please do, and if the Lord doesn't tarry, see you on the other side.